Traders, welcome back to the channel. It's great to have you. We're talking about AMC. Now, if you watched the video yesterday, then you probably got perfect entries on your options. Now, I'm not the guru of this entry. I just like to consider myself a weatherman. I just kind of predict where we're going one day and going the next day. Now, long-term targets, I can't tell you that we're going to 200, 300, 500. It's looking likely. But I'm telling you, in the short term, we're looking extremely bullish. In the video, I'm going to go over charts and where I see us going into the end of the week. And then I'm going to go over how I see us moving based on the volume as well. So stay tuned for that information. And let's not waste any more time. Like, subscribe, do what you got to do. Let's get to it.
I got no drip in my pocket. Must have forgot it, or maybe I...
All right, so we're jumping right into the chart. Just so you know, this is TradingView. So if you want to use this application, it's 100% free. There's no code or anything like that. This is what I do all of my charting and TA based on. So I pointed out yesterday, there was a few key things I was looking at. And I'll shout out to Trades because you got yourself one of your famous old George W's. But this is what we were looking at. We wanted to see another key test of this zone down here. And someone say double bottom, someone say triple bottom, whatever you want to say. You can even call it your George W. But whatever it is, this was the area that I saw the key support. And once we started flagging more on the downside, it's important to know that this is where I suspected we were going to test. Now, if we grab the flag, you can put it back right here. And this is what we had marked out yesterday. We saw we were flagging here, rejected multiple times at $57 and pushing back down. We opened and gapped straight below that 55 region and came straight down to $52 to $51 region. Now, from there, it's important to note that we did rejected from that daily open, and then this would have been that really key time to get in. Once you had that rejection, came back down, that would have been kind of confirmation. And then once you got above the daily, that was even further confirmation if you did need it. And so you push up from here and we're sitting very pretty. Now, a lot of people were concerned and they were saying, Tyler, we're falling back down from that, the 58 range. But look, you just mounted that support and you're coming right back up. I suspect tomorrow we will have a test of 61.7, 61.5, this region right here. From there, I can't tell you exactly where we're going to go or how we're going to react, but it's important to know on the first touch, typically we do get rejected and then we try to come back through and we retest, and that's what you want to see, continuation like that. However, if we open up very strong and we just gap straight through it, the bulls could take control. But what I'm looking for tomorrow is to see a really nice touch of this range and to see how we react off of that spot, because that will kind of tell us the overall momentum going into the end of the week. And it's worth noting, typically the end of the week is when we have our worst days on AMC. But like I said, this hasn't been the most normal week because you started out the week very bearish on the downside, and typically Mondays are really the easiest and best days for us overall historically. So we do kind of have the weeks changing up on us, so keep that in the back of your mind. So looking at the OBV as well, this really represents the volume, and you saw me mention this yesterday that yes, we were pushing down below. However, I did say that we were still consolidating in this region. You can see that we're just sitting here making higher lows. You're not making higher highs, but you're still making this pennant here. This is something that we like to see. It's also worth mentioning, since January, the OBV continues on an uptrend, just continuously going up, signaling that people and holders on the stock, especially retail, are not selling. So if retail is not selling, there is no logical reason for this stock to dump, in my opinion, since retail owns about 85% of the company. And why am I so adamant on mentioning retail? Well, if you're long term, this is really your only concern for the stock is retail selling. And then if you're short term, it's important to know that technicals are going to be your guidance to know when to get in and when to get out, because retail isn't selling. It's really showing you that technicals are really important. That's why we're bouncing on all these key support and resistances. Now, I'm not talking vibrations and zone of weaknesses. I'm just pointing out the facts as I see them. Wrapping up the video, I'm very bullish in the short term, especially on AMC. Now, the long term, my viewpoints that yes, I think we're eventually going to get that key breakout, get that squeeze, but it could take some time. However, in the short term, we want to see more calls roll in for more of a gamma squeeze in the long term viewpoint. And then in the very short term, we want to see the volume kind of come back in, because honestly, as of lately, the volume's been nothing that attractive, and that's me putting it lightly. However, even with the less attractive volume, you're seeing these moves to the upside, and that's something to keep in the back of your mind, that's showing that if we ever get that volume back, or when we do, that you're going to start seeing very big moves, especially on the share side of things. So that's why I'm so adamant on never really mentioning my shares. I keep them, I hold them. I don't ever have a plan to get out of those anytime soon. Those are just there. But what I'm trading actively is my options. And now people say, Tyler, do you exercise them? Do you sell them? I'm always selling my options. The goal is to make as much money on options so I never have to worry about those shares whatsoever. I've already made enough on my options that at this point I'm playing with the house's money on those shares. And that's not to boast or anything, but that's just to show you the power of trading options when you do them smart and really buying at key support levels. The ultimate goal is to mitigate risk at all times, and that's why you wanted to buy around $51, $52, because you want that key dump, you want the IV to stagnate, because that will let you make the most money possible when those options start to run and the volume and intrinsic value starts to increase. That's what I'm always looking for with options. I do think these options will end up paying out a little bit more going to the end of the week, so I'm looking forward to that as well. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I will be live in a little bit, so make sure you tune in there. I answer every single question, no donations needed. It's completely free. So like, subscribe, do what you gotta do. We'll be back here in a few hours. Namaste.
Got enough to go cop it. I'm about to take off like a rocket. Houston, we might have a